so you talk about your mom too, right? And I think that you had mentioned that she struggles from type 2 diabetes,
Yep.
also hormonal issues.
Yep.
And so like when you watch her navigating all of that now, what's going through your mind? Like, does it feel almost like it's inevitable for you, or does it feel like because you've taken this proactive approach and you've decided, to really kind of try to, as much as you can, get ahead of it, does it feel like
Yeah.
it's something that you have a say in because you are hopefully early enough in this journey?
That's such a good question, and I want to answer it honestly because
Mhm.
when I first started seeing the changes in my mom, this is sort of like when the intricacies of like family and health come together. There, instead of fear, it became an anger of like seeing my mom turning into my grandmother, like is seeing her weight just like jump up from one day to the next. And then seeing this sort of like, um, when we're talking about like mental health issues too, like those come into play in our genetic as well. So seeing that kind of like being passed down and watching her become who my grandmother was, and then thinking about the pain of like my grandmother leaving, right? So it's like I spent a lot of my early years doing everything that I could. I would say like late teens, early 20s. I was working out so many times a day. Like I went vegan for like 5 years, and like I lived this life of restriction that really was built off of the fear of watching my grandmother and then my mother almost what felt like one day to the next not be
Mhm.
the woman that I remembered. The reason behind me being proactive really was that fear. So unfortunately, after those years passed, I spent so much time in restriction that I think for the first time, I really got to see how much genetics played a role into everything. And I maybe took 2 years off. And from one day to the next, what it also felt like, what I
Yeah.
went from 140 pounds to 225.
Wow.
And then I'm staring at my mom, and then I'm staring at myself. And again, it was like, it was almost like this sense of disappointment, but also denial. Like, there's no way, right? There's no way
Yeah.
that this is happening right now. And it's very hard to navigate, and that can also kind of like put you in a position where you're so demotivated, and just kind of comes to a point, well, it just kind of comes to a point where you think, what's the point of even putting any effort into this?
Because this is
Right.
what it is. Yeah.
Exactly.